Okay, let's do it again. Because I did this video and I didn't save it and it cleared itself off. So let's do it again. I don't often talk about wearing a mask and why people should wear masks. I don't get too deep into that. I had stopped wearing masks for a while, and my friend Denzel mentioned it to me, and other people mentioned it. And I looked, and surging. It's surging. It really is. Got me concerned. So I started wearing one of those charcoal masks I've got. Nothing special. When I go to these work sites and I breathe in the dust, like I was doing Monday and Tuesday. This is my end of my second week doing this. Monday and Tuesday, it got in my lungs, and like when I came home, I was coughing and stuff. Not just like coughing here and there, and I'm like, whoa, thought I was sick. I'm all right, no aches, no nothing like that. I can smell, just the smell's fine, but it just messed me up. So I can tell that me wearing my mask the last couple of days has really helped uh, with that issue specifically. Um, I think a lot of the places I go to, people, the work site mandates them wear a mask. But went to Stallings to get today after their Matthews off 74 gas tank. Nobody had a mask going out there. It's just stuff they have to do it for their because of their business. Take this stuff seriously. Um, it I've got a little British mask here that I stopped wearing. It's just so fucking hot. It's really comfortable to wear, but that rubber is really hot. It's funny because you see that pink. On one on the website, the one they sold is white, and I think that's got to do with the specificity of the mask, of the filter. I'll show you. That's like the most common one. It's just paper. It's P100. It's paper. But the white one I think is actually got charcoal embedded in the filters. It's just odor. It's just odor. That's all it is. Blocks the odors. Can't find these. Yeah, I got like 9 more of these in my closet. Filters. So that's why I stopped wearing it. And when people who don't follow politics, don't follow science, start warning you, you'd best to pay attention. You'd best to wake up and unfuck yourself. Um, this is not political at all. At all. So, like I said, I'm like a big city cop. They seek out the crime. I seek out white supremacy. I go on law enforcement today. I'll say not every day. That's some dark stuff. God, that's some dark stuff. Officer.com, Police One, Cedar Post. Because I realize Infowars and stuff like that is so radical that even regular white men don't. That doesn't get traction even with them. And it doesn't really affect anything. Law enforcement today is speaking to cops. That's important because that's their network, that's their web, that's their resource pool, their talent pool, whatever. And law enforcement today is pretty dark stuff. That stuff is vexing to the spirit that you have cops that actually think like that. Yeah, but I go on there from time to time. I see the posts, other things, because I want to. Even before I go on Democrat Underground, stuff like that, Daily Codes, because I know how I am. I'm entrenched, and I'm in the struggle. That's not going to change today, tomorrow, or ever. I was a libertarian, guys. I've got Ron Paul's book in my storage unit. I feel like bringing it in here. I've I've got Freewheeling for Capitalism somewhere in my storage unit. That's a huge book. Yeah, I was a libertarian. You know, it really was. And I woke up. Charlottesville woke me up quickly to realize that stuff exists. That's very real. And I think a part of me wanted someone to stand up and speak out against white supremacy. And now I realized that for Trump, that was never going to happen because that's his base. If Trump tried to broaden his base at any, then he'd lose what he would lose it. Like, that's all he's got. Like, when I go on watch MSNBC, and I'm like, well, Trump should do this, Trump should do that. It's like, no, he's not going to do that. Why would he do that? His base is racists. His base is people that hate blacks and hate Mexicans and hate gays. And their whole political ideology is based upon cruelty. It's just putrid. It's not supposed to be going into space and undersea projects and life extension technology. It's none of that. It's everybody's a child molester and everybody's gay and everybody's got some secret and everybody's in the New World Order and everybody's some communist. You know, it's that's what it is. I'm going somewhere with this, so follow me. The people who push the masks are simply doing it out of science. I was reading on Facebook today about evidently, City of Charlotte has mandated it. People need to wear a mask if they're outside. I don't wear my mask a lot of times. From outside though, a work site. So I'm gonna be dealing with any kind of people I do. When I go in the office, I wear a mask. Definitely not. Definitely, no doubt. It is political, but not in the way you might think. It's political, and I don't believe Trump's bullshit. But I don't wear a mask just to show you I don't like Trump. No, I don't do that. I wear a mask. And it's amazing to me, like, that's how radicalized Trump supporters are now. I was reading on City of Charlotte, their Facebook, this guy was talking about how I'll wash my hands, I'll keep my distance, but wearing a mask, that's what criminals wear. And the guy was a mechanic with Epps. You know. He was talking about I won't wear a mask. What does washing your hands have to do with coronavirus? Coronavirus is respiratory. It's not from fomites. It's not from touching. They don't even know what the scientists say anymore because they're off in their own little world. Like, we're following the science, and they're like, well, scientists were wrong about this back in June. Well, back in February, they were wrong about this. They're wrong about that. Guess what? You know the reality of it, though? If your president hadn't wasted 2 months not doing anything, we wouldn't have been so far off the mark. Everybody makes mistakes, especially with a pandemic of this size. Contagions mutate. That's what they do. Just because something is true today doesn't mean it'll be true 3 weeks from now. Like my friend Denzel put it, these are people who are looking for the wrong. They're looking to say, well, this is wrong. That's what they're looking for, that, and they're gonna find it, while ignoring the fact that Trump defunded the WHO, while forgetting about the fact that he reduced funding to the pandemic response team. He defunded the CDC. You won't talk about that. Maybe if these agencies hadn't been defunded and weakened to such an extent, maybe they would be making mistakes. We'll never know. Look, when I was sitting here back in March, I sat for a couple of weeks, the end of March when the pandemic first hit. Jobs really dried up. It's a couple of days where I just drove around, going to jobs and not the job ended up canceling. That happened. And I watched a lot of documentaries. Oh, polio. I watched documentaries on SARS. I watched documentaries on 1918 influenza. If you look at that 1918, if you do your research, even back then, they had something called the Anti-Mask League that said that they believe it was unconstitutional to wear a mask, even though people were dying. And it was worse then. It was even worse then. So when they talk about it's not that deadly and all this kind of stuff, that's not really what this is about. This is about white supremacy. This is about the idea of white people to just say, I don't have to do anything outside of the Constitution or outside of the Bible. I don't have to cooperate. I don't have to respect other people's private property. I do what I want. Fuck everybody. And I've got this gun, so I do what I want. I mean, I'm gonna press again. Look, my point is, it doesn't matter how deadly the virus is, and hopefully it doesn't mutate any worse. The mutation makes it more dangerous because it's more likely to infect you. It's not as wobbly. It's really bad, guys. That's what I don't look at the numbers so much as I should. It's because I think that you get caught on the numbers and you get burnt out on that. I look at the dimensions of the disease. How is it changing? How is it altering? That's what I look at. Because every day numbers, it kind of burns you out. Because I stopped following Dr. John. I stopped following a lot of these people. Other than here and there when there's big events that happen. Look, it's like their ancestors. They've always been wrong. These are the folks that fought for DDT. They fought for GM to use leaded gasoline in their cars, which they knew even then was horrible for the body and ended up making a lot of people go fucking violently insane, from what I understand. And they found a lot of lead was in the environment after that for years. Yeah, low level of lead, which causes crime rates to go up. We know this. Affects the brain. They fought for DDT. They fought for lead in the gasoline. They called the lady that wrote Silent Spring, they called her a communist, which we know now was 110% true. That what the book was about, the book was talking about pesticides and how we kill off animals. And JFK's administration looked at it and found it to be true. They fought against having the Surgeon General warnings on the cigarette packets. They've always been wrong. What else? They've been everything you can think of. They've been wrong. And so the best they can do with this pandemic is to tell you that wearing a mask makes you a criminal, or that the Taliban made people wear masks. A couple things here. Out of context. We know that. They wore a mask for a religious observation, guys. City of Charlotte is not mandating anybody worship at any particular church or any church at all. It's a science. But these are people that are living 100 years in the past. They're losing the culture war. It's all around. We can see that. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it. This is why I don't talk about, I've never talked about the mask because I live my life the best way possible. Not to live my life to what other black people think I should be as a black male. I've never done that. I'm in the class struggle, but I've never just been like, I'm a black man, so I can only eat this. I'm a black man, so I can only eat that. I've never been like that. I've never felt like that. It's always been about science. It's always been about discovery and learning. That's how I live my life. And with these rednecks, they're like it's like the truckers, same thing. They're trying to live up to an image, it's iconography of things. I've never done that. I'm just trying to be the best me I can be while I'm here, guys. If I can make somebody smile, if I can make somebody think about something that maybe they didn't think about before, if they can learn something from me, then to me I've done something. But I've just, even when I was a trucker, no, I'm not trying to live up to anything. It's my mom. Every day that goes by, I'm more like her. I'm not trying to make anybody agree with me. I'm not trying to make anybody like me. But the science is pretty clear. You wear a mask, you reduce the spread. You're less likely to spread this thing. I'm not really a people person. I'm not really like going to bars. I'm 30 years old, never been to a bar. I haven't drank in over 10 years. I haven't drank a sip of alcohol in over 10 years. Well, almost 10 years. And I got blackout drunk first time I drank. I blacked out. I don't do that. And I've never understood people that they travel, they got to get drunk. I've never done that. I've never been a person like that. So I have to go cavorting in that kind of. But I do want to travel. I do want to see the world. I never thought that my way of living, that courtesy and consideration for other people would come secondhand. I mean, it not secondhand. It would come without a thought. Wearing a mask, I don't want to spread this. Like when I first started learning about it, it was like, yeah, I wear a mask to protect myself. But it is like, no, I don't want to make anybody else sick. I do feel like that. I wouldn't do reckless things. And I live amongst people who don't care. Like a better word, they don't care. They have no consideration for others. They have no thought for others but themselves. None. No thought. I don't know. Wear the damn mask, man.